Welcome to another installment of Parent Perspective, a video series designed to assist and educate those who have loved ones here at Arkansas Tech University. We know you play a major role in the success of your student, and we need your help getting your student here through to graduation. We hope that through these video series we can provide you with some valuable insight into the campus resources and procedures and the social and academic lives of your students. Today our focus is on our current students who reside on campus and what the process is for them to secure housing for next year, fall 2020, spring 2021. To talk us through this process, we welcome Mr. Bill LaCava, Assistant Dean for Housing Operations. Thank you for being here, Bill.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
Okay. So I know we're just, a ways away, and we still got a whole nother semester to go before we get through this year. But nevertheless, it's time to start thinking about next academic year.
Correct.
And one of the things that is starting to come in, a lot of questions are starting to come in about where I'm going to live and who I'm going to live with and all that stuff from our students, and I'm getting it from parents as well. So with that in mind, when does the current housing process start for a reapplication process start for our current students?
Well, I actually started on November 1st this year. We had the reapplication stuff live on our housing portal. So for those that are freshmen this year that are looking to be in sophomore next year, it's the same process they went through last time, going on the housing portal. They'll be clicking on returning application. They'll be going through and filling out the contract, doing a prepayment and all as well to make sure that they get it secured. And they have to do this before February 1.
Okay, so process has begun November 1st. They have up until February 1st to complete that. Same place, the housing portal. I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit. But done through the housing portal and their reapplication. They're clicking on reapplication.
Correct.
So basically the same process they did last year, or maybe their parents did for them last year. They have to go back in that portal, click on reapplication, and go through those steps. Okay. So, and that's all done through the housing portal.
Yes, sir, through the housing portal.
And students have their ID and their credentials to log into that?
They should. It should be the same login that the students normally use to log into any computer, their email and all. They should also probably make sure they know their T number as well, or have their ID on them to make sure that they remember what their T number is if they haven't memorized it by yet.
And if a student's having an issue with their housing portal, they can just come by your office?
They can come by the office. They can always call us as well. We're open 8 to 5. We always have someone manning the phone. If not, for some reason, the phone lines are ringing off the hook, we will call people back if they leave us a message and all as well.
I understand that it may not be different for these students, but the prepayment or the deposit structure is a little bit different this year. Can you talk to me a little bit about the changes for this application process in regards to the cost?
Sure. Well, let's address the cost first. The cost now is $100 prepayment. Before it was split between $100 and $250. We decided to level it out and make it one constant charge of $100 prepayment. Students pay that $100. They get it back in the fall semester. So all the current students actually got back their prepayment already.
Onto their account?
Onto their account,
okay.
Or into the direct deposit that was set up for when they set up their account from student accounts. But it's been all released into student accounts already to do it for that. It's normally been, I think it was released in September or so. Okay. So they would have to go on, they will have to redo the $100, and this is the one that guarantees their spot, guarantees a placement, making sure we know they're coming next year and so on and so forth. There is also cancellation timeframes that they can get partial of their prepayment back.
Okay. And they can find all that when they go through this process.
They'll be able to find it on the portal, on their contract, and we also have, like, if you're canceling your contract on our housing website, it will detail it all listed out on that one as well.
When they're doing this reapplication process, are they actually picking their room?
Currently, no, they're not. They're just going to sign up saying they want to come in. After February 1st, we'll start what we call Dibs Day. They'll be able to call dibs on the rooms that they have, either their current room, if they're eligible for their current room, or they will be able to select a different room. Now, they can also sign up with their friends and do roommate groups like some of them already did coming into the freshman year to find different areas. The students that are affected that cannot do it on that first week would be students that are living with student staff members that are currently in rooms designated for accessibilities, and also those that are living in M Street currently, since M Street is an all freshman building. So all those students will be going on the second week, which is Displaced Day. And then of course the third week on Dibs Day would be a pick anywhere you want to go type of thing. So we have 3 weeks in February that we normally do all this time.
And so anywhere is an option except for M Street for our current students.
Anywhere is an option except for M Street. M Street is strictly for the incoming freshmen next year. The University Commons or apartments does have a little regulations on there that has a certain amount of credit hours that are required. It's normally about 30, and that's completed hours. So some of the freshmen right now might not have completed 30 hours on there to be eligible to be in UC, but it's also depending on their GPA. They need to have a 2.5 or higher to be over there.
So completed hours, if you're if they were currently a freshman, they maybe got 16 or 18 hours this fall, and they're taking 16 or 15 hours in the spring, but they only have 16 completed here at Arkansas Tech, so they're not even eligible to live.
Correct.
So the majority of the people that live in University Commons are sophomores, juniors, and seniors primarily.
Primarily juniors and seniors. We are, we do look at it in May or so to see how many open spots, and I do start a request list for students that might be on the bubble of getting the completed hours or not like that. So we normally talk to them and try to do it, but we do start a request list for them on there, and we give priority to those that are in the request list, since freshmen aren't eligible for University Commons.
Okay. But anywhere else, so students can be looking at any of the spots. All those spots are open for them during the sign-up process, which begins after February 1st.
Correct. So if they're in, let's say Brown Hall right now, and they want to try something, a different experience, and go to Payne, they'll be eligible to transfer over to Payne Hall and select a room in Payne if they want to. If they're in a nut quad and they want a nut triple, they can move down a bedroom as well on that one.
So just like currently the housing situation is, that they'll have opportunities for one roommate, two roommate, three roommates. We'll still have doubles, triples, and quads throughout campus. Okay, now they redo the application. That triggers them as saying, hey, I want to live on campus again next year. So they've done that, made the payment. Then after February 1st, they will be notified of when their time is via an email, via their housing portal. How does that work?
Yeah, so when we get everybody's application in, we will send them out information saying, okay, the portal is open to select your room at this time. For all those that are eligible to select their same exact room, they'll have that first week. So they'll just say, yes, I want my room, or they don't select the room. We send that room back out for anybody to select the week after. So if they don't pick their room in the first couple days or week of that thing, their room is now eligible for anywhere else, and we can't backtrack over it. So that's very important for our students and parents to know, is they need to make sure it's complete. They'll have emails telling them what time to come in. More than likely it'll be like 8 o'clock in the morning till 5, 8 o'clock at night or so. But it's like every 15 minutes we'll open it up for other people to go in and take a look at it. They don't have to be on the computer at that time at 8 o'clock to sign up for their housing on the first go around. Mm-hmm. It's open from that time slot from 8 until we close it like 5 days later or so. Okay. They have an eligibility to select their room. It's when it comes afterwards, when we do the display stay and the other one, that the time slot is dependent on where they want to pick on that one. And we picked the time slot based off of when their application was first submitted. So their very first application in housing, when they were a freshman, whenever they applied for housing, will be the priority list. So the earlier they submitted it, the higher priority they have on that.
Okay. So right now, the focus should be on our current students that want to live on campus next year, is to get that application redone in the housing portal, pay that deposit, or pay that prepayment, pardon me, and get that done. And then everything else begins after February 1st. Once they've got that done, they don't have to worry about anything right now. After February 1st, they'll be prodded via email what their time is and what their spots are.
Correct. After February 1st, they'll be able to select their room. Right now, it's just more about signing up.
Okay. Now, the meal plan part, when does that start? When do they have to sign up for a meal plan? Is that at a different time frame?
No, they can actually sign up for the meal plan the same time that they sign up for housing. When they select the room, they'll be able to select the meal plan. They'll be able to choose which type of meal plan they want next year. Some of them like to sit back and wait to see if they get into the apartment, since they're not required to have a meal plan if they live in the apartments, or they can get a lower tier meal plan since they're in the apartment. So we normally try to wait for them to select their rooms and then select a meal plan right after they select a room.
Okay. I often get questions, and starting again right now, about summer school housing and year-round housing. What are those, and what is that process, and how can students learn more about those processes?
Sure. Come like March or so, we will open up summer housing applications. We will normally designate a building or two for everybody to live in. Last year we dedicated Wilson and one of the buildings in UC for it as well. This coming summer we will still designate a res hall for students to live in a res hall. What we will also only let those students that are staying in an apartment next year be the ones eligible to stay in the UC apartments over the summer. So that's a little bit of a difference. They're not going to have that choice unless they're already going to be in the apartment.
And that starts around March.
That starts around March.
Okay.
We'll send out information about it and blast our social media, and as well send out emails to our students letting them know that, hey, if you're planning to stay for the summer, here's how to sign up for the summer.
And I know that you guys made some changes last year to be a little bit more accommodating to some of these students that are making the commitment to be here year-round for the next couple of years. So some of these residence halls, they are open 12 months a year. So students in this reapplication process, they need to come to the housing office to make sure that they're selecting a spot if they want to be in the same spot for 12 months a year.
If they do. I know for sure for winter break, for example, Jones Hall and Wilson Hall, we normally have that opened up that there's no additional cost to stay during winter break. So they're more than eligible to stay during winter break. 12-month housing with, if they want to sign up for the summer and all, it depends on what building I need to do updates to construction. Sure. Will dedicate which buildings I will have open for that. They may have to move in May just to move their room to be able to be eligible for the summer.
That's great. Of course, if students have any questions about this process, they can come by and talk to your folks in your office. You've got staff there that knows what's going on, knows the process. They can come in physically, Doc Bryan, 211 down there, go down there and ask any questions they have, or call the office, correct?
They could call our office. I know in January I'm going to do info sessions for the DIBS day of how to do select the rooms if they have any students have questions, which I'll blast the students on emails and all, and put up some flyers saying that I'll be in this room location if anyone wants to come and ask me questions about the process as well in January. So this way when February comes around, everybody's on the same page.
Well, thanks, Bill. We appreciate you kind of overviewing this for our current students, whether they're currently freshmen, sophomore, junior, or senior, kind of giving them an understanding of the timeline. And for those out there that are watching, if you have questions about this process, talk to your student. They're getting emails, they're getting stuff. They can go to the housing office and get some clarification if they need it, but they need to get all their questions answered prior to February 1st so they know how to make their selection and have the right steps done. So thank you again, Bill, for being here, and we appreciate you stopping in to listen to our parent perspective. Have a great day.